Hi, here we are. If it's Wednesday, it's In the News with Rick Mauch from the Burlington Record. How are we, sir? July 1st.
But it's Thursday.
It's Thursday, but it's Wednesday.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. If it's Wednesday or Thursday.
Nobody knows when we're cutting it.
Who knows what the hell we're doing by Friday. But if it's
You're
Wednesday
right.
or
it
Thursday.
It would be Wednesday the 30th. So technically it's Thursday, July 1st. What do we got?
It is. It's the first day of July. Holy cow.
4th of July is here.
10 more days and I will have been here a year.
Oh, congratulations. I knew that.
And my first day at the record will be 12 days from now. So
that's exciting. We'll have to do something for that.
That is exciting. I welcome donations.
Yeah, so, there you go. Feedback.
Hey, I'm a journalist. Anything that has to do with feed, I'm fine.
There you go. Any kind of a feed that's good, I gotcha.
Yeah, man. It's a great Thursday. We're into July. We got the 4th of July coming up this weekend.
Tons of events.
Yeah, I mean,
it's an exciting time.
Short of winning the lottery, and I don't mean the $3 or $4 stuff. I mean, short of winning the big lottery, life couldn't be better.
Good to hear.
So,
it looks like we got an exciting front page.
We do. Let's talk about the website first. Yesterday was a huge news day. Now, we didn't have all of it on our website, obviously. We had, because some of it happened outside, I guess, the realm of I don't want to say the realm of interest, but, you can only put so much on there. Of course, we had Bill Cosby on there.
Yep, I saw that.
And we haven't had anything about Donald Rumsfeld yet. I thought I would wait for some kind of reaction piece, and so we'll probably post something on that today or tomorrow because there will be reaction pieces.
But also historical.
Yeah, but of course, the big news yesterday was Bill Cosby,
right?
And dude, I don't know what to think about that. I mean, I grew up loving Bill Cosby. Loved his TV show, loved his comedy, but the guy should be in prison.
Well, I guess I don't fully understand if that was dropped all charges because I think there were multiple cases. Is this just one case? Is it all the cases?
Well, the story as to how he even got convicted is incredibly interesting. They barely beat the statute of limitations with the last accusation.
Yep.
And for those who don't know how he got out, I'll give you the Rick Mauch Reader's Digest condensed version. Basically, the DA screwed up. They wanted him for a civil trial, and in exchange for that, said they wouldn't pursue charges on the criminal activity that was looming out there.
Gotcha.
The DA's changed. The new DA heard what Cosby had said and said, "No, we've got to convict this guy." So they did, and the Pennsylvania Supreme Court looked it over, and as courts will do, they do take a while, but they finally decided that because of the agreement in the civil trial and what Cosby said, as a result of thinking he had immunity, the DA who convicted him basically forced him into self-incrimination. He couldn't take the Fifth Amendment because of what he'd already said. It is justice. And as someone who did study some law in college, don't confuse me with F. Lee Bailey, but I did study some law in college, and it is legal. It is.
It's a technicality.
By the book, yes. By technicalities, it's the right decision. But basically, what they did is they traded a criminal. They traded putting a criminal in prison to win a civil suit.
So is the civil suit? That's not what got dismissed. It was the criminal suit.
Yes, because of what he said connected to the civil suit.
I understand.
So in order to get him to help them win a civil suit,
kind of like in a trade.
Yes,
sort of.
they basically blew the the criminal conviction.
Well, and I mean, at this point, right, his victims are probably looking at, how old is he? He's 80 something?
I think he's 83.
So maybe that's part of it too. Is they're looking at, the civil piece, they'll get money or compensation.
I think again, it's just the technicality. He was forced into self-incrimination, and you can't do that. He had no opportunity to take the fifth because of what he had said to assist in this civil trial. I don't get it. I don't understand. And again, don't confuse me with any, because I'm not a lawyer by any stretch of the imagination, short of being able to hold a good argument with someone.
Right.
But does it take a rocket scientist to look at two things and go, this is a civil suit. No one's going to jail over this. It's a civil suit. This is a possible, and that's what it was at the time, possible criminal case.
Mm-hmm.
Who does it take a rocket scientist to look at that and go, do we really want to win this civil case so bad that we lose any chance of the criminal conviction? And that's basically what happened.
It's a good question. I just don't know enough about it, but I do know two interesting things yesterday.
I know if it came before me, I would always take the criminal conviction.
Right. So maybe we'll have to see if there's more to it, other than a mistake. So like what their strategy was. But I did find it interesting. One thing, his coworker on Twitter yesterday, and I can't remember her name, but it was wasn't it Felicia Rashad maybe? Or
yes.
She came out and defended him staunchly yesterday and was happy for that, which that's interesting.
And he has a lot of defenders.
But then I did see the outrage, obviously, from all of the victims. And I was out of it yesterday working, so I didn't catch on a lot of news. But those little two pieces I saw.
And he swears he didn't do it. I don't know. To me, it looked like the evidence was there. He was convicted. He did do some time before it got overturned.
And all this, though, is on the website for people to read.
True, but yes, it is. He won't have a criminal record. That'll be expunged. And here's what I think is ironic. I don't know if this is going to apply in his case. But I do know that very often when someone is wrongfully convicted, and that's technically what this is, when you're released, you get paid for the time you spent behind bars. It's kind of a we're sorry compensation thing. So I don't know if he's going to get that or not, but talk about irony.
We have to do a follow-up on that on the website.
Yeah. So we've got that. Our trending stories, or this is interesting, could walking barefoot on grass improve your health? Well, some doctors think so.
Really?
The Denver Center, a lot of big shows coming up. They're coming back full strength. We got The Lion King. We got Pretty Woman. We got Hamilton, which I'm actually going to with my daughter. I believe it's February of next year.
Is that all in Denver at the Buell? Is that
yes,
where? Okay.
Yes. We had tickets to Hamilton. It got postponed, and so now it's going to fall right around my birthday next year. So it's we've talked about it before. It's so good to be able to get back out and enjoy things live. Yeah. I got tickets to Elton John in Texas next year, September 30th. I was able to get those at a very, very cheap price.
Where's that at?
That's at the
Dallas?
It's Globe Life Field in Arlington, the new home of the Texas Rangers.
Oh, wow. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Well, I say new. It's a couple of years now. But, I've seen him twice before. We actually saw him in San Francisco in 2019, what was his original farewell tour. And I thought, okay, that's it. My daughter and I went. We enjoyed San Francisco. But when the tour got canceled and now he's revived it, I thought, I'm going to see how much tickets are.
Another farewell.
And I'm a member of what they call of his Rocket Club, so I got first crack at him, and was able to get incredibly cheap tickets, and so we're going now. I can't wait for Springsteen to go on tour again, and that's coming because he this past weekend played on Broadway, Springsteen on Broadway.
They're coming back strong.
Yes.
I mean, think about all these acts and all the musicians that have been on the sideline for 16 months.
And if you like rock and roll, I highly, highly, highly recommend seeing Springsteen. I've seen him many times, and his tickets are always inexpensive because his philosophy is, look at who listens to my music. They can't afford $200.
He's like, hey, keep it where you can afford it. Good.
This is a cool story. An anonymous rancher donated $1 million to Colorado State University to help minimize carnivore and human conflicts.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I mean, I didn't realize
I'm not sure what that means exactly, but it sounds good.
I guess it's a study to figure out how we can get, creatures like bears and wolves and create an environment where they're, we're not encountering each other. The Colorado Board of Education wants to bring more power back to the superintendents as we return to in-person classes. Colorado coaching legend, Fred Tassone, he was the architect of the Cherry Creek Dynasty. He's passed away at age 90. And also, I'll show you something here in a minute. Along those same lines, Bert Borgman is retiring from CHASA after such a long time. And this is very local. It's on our website, and it's also in the paper. The Carson County Department of Public Health put out an after COVID response community assessment. It was in our paper last week. Simple form, you fill it out, send it back to them, and you have through July 28th to do that. Now, I didn't realize we are after COVID, but we are getting there.
Right.
So, compared to where we were, yes.
So is that in the paper weekly then for the next couple of weeks, or is it just that last edition?
No, I think it was just last week, but you have until July 28th to fill that out. And one of our own, Colorado University's Chauncey Billups, is now the head coach of the Portland Trailblazers.
Really? I didn't see that. Wow.
Yeah, that was our breaking news.
Huh.
And don't forget to check out the website. The poll question, which this week we kind of lightened up a little bit.
Okay.
Maybe we'll have something about Bill Cosby next week. I don't know.
What is it this week? Is the sun too hot? What is it?
Do you agree with Colorado lawmakers passing a bill that bans the use of single-use plastic bags and polystyrene products, like to-go boxes, in many stores and restaurants?
Like in Colorado, is that what it's up against that?
Yeah, they want you to bring your own bags, the reusable bags,
right.
and the back and forth is mixed on that, and I understand both, because if you don't, now I'm okay with the reusable bags. We actually have some. We keep them in our trunk. I keep forgetting to take them in the store. So,
well, we talked about this. So you got to wash it occasionally.
Yeah. So
right?
while I have the reusable bags, I have tons of plastic bags at home.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you don't wash those things, they are, they're
it's a carrier of disease.
Yeah, it's a carrier of germs and disease. So,
well, you're right. That is a level down for the poll for this week. So,
like I said,
we'll
maybe we'll have something about Bill Cosby next week.
Yeah.
Do you think he ought to go back to jail?
That'd be an interesting one. I bet that would be like 80% yes.
Would you be okay if Bill Cosby
went back
moved
to prison?
in next door to you?
There you go.
And that actually might be the question. Would you be okay if Bill Cosby moved in next door to you?
I don't think you can put that one on.
I might.
Hey, you could. You're the editor.
Well, you know what? I mean, the poll question it's popular.
It's just a poll,
and it does seem like the crazier.
It would be an interesting amount of answers.
It does seem like the crazier it gets, the more people respond, and I'm okay with that. Whatever brings people. And I do want people to understand, and I think they do, because we haven't really had any complaints about the poll yet. We've had one or two people go, we've had one or two people gripe about whatever the subject is, like, I like what they're doing in Texas. I don't like the gun laws up here, yada, yada, yada. But nobody's pointed the finger at the paper yet.
Well, it's not scientific. It's not IP-based.
And it's not our opinion. It's a question.
Yeah. Take it for what it is.
Yeah, we're not saying that we want Bill Cosby to move next door to you.
Yeah, it's just a poll question.
We're saying, would you be okay if he did? Front page of the paper this week. 4th of July, a lot of 4th of July stuff. We've got the this Sunday night, we've got the fireworks display. We've got the red, white, and brew that afternoon leading up to it.
Yeah, huge shout out to all the volunteers
Yes,
from both the Chamber of Commerce, but also fire department, everyone that makes all the city, everyone that makes all of these events happen. There's a ton of work behind the scenes that goes into this to make it safe and fun. Expect a big turnout, so it should be a good weekend.
Speaker's name for the No-Till Conference, which I suppose we're going to have 2 of those in the coming months. It's going to have August, and then it'll go back to February.
Yeah, which will be good for the budget. It's just kind of weird because it falls in the same year then, since it got postponed. So you kind of reap the benefits of that after.
The fiscal year, and I imagine, I know our newspaper fiscal year budget runs from July through June.
So for you guys, it'll be good too.
So for us, it'll be good. Yeah. A lot of businesses operate that same way. I know the city budget is pretty much along those same lines, right? Well, no. I'm thinking of the school.
But I feel like we're getting.
I'm thinking of the school board. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I know a lot of the businesses and what have you. The fiscal year, like ours, runs mid-year to mid-year. So yeah, it'll be very good for us. In the city council report this week, I think this is a cool thing. The Excel Energy Colorado Power Pathway. I guess, Jim Keeney explains it, basically it's a way to provide energy when there's an outage or something in severely bad weather. And it's cool. Now, the idea is to, and from all intents and purposes, it does look like it's going to run through Carson County. If things go according to Hoyle, the first we should start seeing something from that in around 2025. So it's really cool. It's just a way to better ensure that we won't have someone when it's 14 below outside, freezing, or I guess it works the other way too on those days where we get up over 100.
Yeah, we'll have to see what it does. So, obviously we're working on other things here in the city for the electricity as well.
I love Texas and my friends down there, but this is something they could learn from.
Yeah. I'm sure they're getting tied in on that stuff right now because of that giant storm that they had that impacted all of the other states around it.
Yeah, there are a lot of unhappy people down in Texas about that. That's a whole
story. It impacted us as a city because it raised everyone's rates.
Yeah, that's true. Boy, we had a great weekend at State Track from local kids. We had Emily Mason of High Plains. She won a couple of bronze medals in the high jump and the long jump. Sky Perry of Burlington, just a tremendous story, came from out of nowhere. On his very last triple jump of the regular season, he qualified for state. And then he goes up and he gets a 4th place finish. Yeah.
Talk about peaking at the right time.
Yeah. It's all in here, of course, but I also want to point out something that Courtney did that I think is just tremendous. This is a tribute to all who participated.
Wow, that's great.
Just
pictures, like a collage of everyone.
Just a collage of.
If you're listening, pictures. It's just tons of pictures of the track, all the kids doing the track. It looks awesome.
And I want to draw attention to this young lady, Katie McGinnis of Idalia. She is included with the other results, but I'm coming back either this coming week or the week after and doing a spotlight feature on her. She's a junior. She won 3 gold medals at state, but I think she's an inspiration. I really do. She's not letting being wheelchair bound hold her back. She's an inspiration to other physically challenged, but also I think to able-bodied people.
Well, and if people are just listening, can you tell us a little bit more about what did she?
She set a personal record in the 100-meter dash. She won a gold medal as well in the shot put and the discus at state.
Wow.
And just a super positive mindset that we can all learn from.
That'll be neat.
So
that's a feature that's coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
we'll look for that.
I'm looking forward to. I haven't put it together yet, but I am looking forward to the interview with her and what she has to say, and just like I said, just not even having gotten in depth with her, I just can feel the positive vibes.
That'll be a great story. Yeah. Inspirational.
Yeah, absolutely. Another good performance from Burlington Swim Club over in Colby. They are hosting their own meet this week, by the way. So if you're looking for something to do, swing over there and support the local kids. Say, hey, my son and daughter were both involved in swimming when they were young and on local swim clubs. And I got to tell you, it's a great thing for kids and families to be involved in. You do get up at 4:00 in the morning to go places like Colby, Kansas, or in my case, Grapevine, Texas, or wherever. But
it's worth it.
You're bleary-eyed and you're looking for any reason to go back to sleep, but you don't, of course, because you're there watching your kids swim.
You can't. You have to go to the swim meet.
You can't. But I tell you, there's not a more rewarding feeling in the world. So go support these youngsters and adults as well. It's all ages, so
great.
Go support them. This is one of my favorite parts of the paper. We haven't talked much about this in the past, but this is one of my favorite parts of the paper, the look back section. And this week it features the new county courthouse built in 1952. And what do you think it cost to build it in 1952?
The county courthouse in 1952?
Yeah.
$38,000.
No, a little more than that. $190,000.
Oh man, I was way off, huh?
Oh yeah, but I mean,
really, that's what it cost to build that?
Yeah,
that seems high.
I mean, today it would be a bargain.
Yeah, no, today, but that was what 1952.
Yeah, yeah. But I like that. That's a cool part of our paper.
Yeah, I mean that is quite a structure, huh?
I like the news from neighbors. I always like to check out what's going on elsewhere around the state. This is interesting. In Steamboat Springs, after 80 years without a new wolf litter, Colorado Parks and Wildlife announced that 3 wolf pups were spotted near Steamboat Springs. I think we might have actually mentioned this on our website, but that again has become another favorite part of the paper for me, because I like knowing what's going on from my neighbors. Let's see. Oh, this is if you're going to do fireworks, like in your backyard or what have you.
Heck yeah.
Please read this. Sherry Webb did an amazing job breaking down fireworks safety. And also bear in mind animals when you do this, especially dogs and cats, because they don't know what the heck is going on.
Right.
And they get scared. So read that. Just a really good story by Sherry Webb. She does an amazing job writing for us.
And being considerate of your neighbors and the time. Yeah. You don't have to be lighting off M80s at 2 a.m.
Right.
So
absolutely. Sherry's got some really cool stories coming up in the near future too. Lifestyles, Fire Up for the 4th, tasty backyard recipes.
What do we got this week?
Oh, what do we have this week? We have
Explosion Tacos.
White barbecue sauce with smoky chicken.
There we go.
Good. Grilled and loaded smashed potatoes. I know some people who will be smashed on the 4th of July. I don't know if they'll be eating potatoes, but
they'll be down at Palmer Park.
Yeah. By the way, they have the angle parking now.
Yeah. The angle's over there, and it's going to be a fun weekend. So hopefully the weather holds out. I haven't looked, but it looked like it's going to.
And let's see. Oh, this is cool. We had something about this on the website as well. 5 Colorado students have gotten $50,000 scholarships for being vaccinated. So
where did they get that from? From the state?
from the state, yeah.
Wow.
So it does pay to get vaccinated. Literally it
Literally
does
for
pay
those
to get
kids,
vaccinated, yeah. And this is something I mentioned a minute ago. Bert Borgman has done a tremendous job with CHASA. I've only been here a year, but in the short time that I've been here, I've had to work with Bert on a number of things, and just a class act. Just quick to call you back, quick to email you back. If he can do it for you, he will. Well,
he's obviously retiring after a tough stretch.
Yeah,
a tough year that saw complete disruption.
Yeah, sad to see him go, but
have they named his successor? Or?
I
not yet.
Don't know that they have actually.
Maybe he just announced the retirement. Now there's a committee to search and find his replacement.
Yeah, I don't see here in the story where they're.
That's a tough job.
Yeah.
So
you want it?
I don't. I mean, I don't know how you could keep everyone happy. That's a tough one.
I gave up trying to keep people happy a long time ago.
No, that one's really hard.
Yeah.
So
I just I've adopted the approach. Look at me. Do I look like someone who's going to keep you happy?
I don't know how to answer that. So
you get what you get when you come on board.
That's a good philosophy.
No, I'm a sweetheart. I just ask anybody who knows me. As far as you know, I'm a sweetheart.
What else you got there? Breaking news?
No, this is looking ahead. Some stories that we're working on. This is something I'm working on. I'm getting with local athletic directors and getting their thoughts on the new NCAA ruling where athletes can
compensation.
Yeah, they can benefit from their name, their image. I
saw that early this morning.
Yeah,
wow.
and I won't reveal the results that I've gotten so far, but I actually thought going into this that most athletic directors might be against it because it would force kids to try and graduate early, the really talented kids, mind you, and maybe force them to focus a little more on club sports and what have you. But
this came about because of lawsuits, though, right? I mean, the NCAA was forced to do this,
more or less. Yeah.
So it's going to change a lot.
It is. My personal belief is you are already getting compensated. You're getting a college education that is worth a ton of money.
But you know what? I mean, it's such a machine, man. You got coaches making $6, $7, $8 million. Everyone's making it.
I don't totally agree with that either, though.
Yeah, but they are.
Call me old-fashioned, but
I mean, they're making all that money off those kids, and those kids aren't making it.
I know they are, and the argument would be, well, look what Nick Saban does. I'm an Alabama fan. We all know that. I'm not a bandwagon fan. I have a connection to the school. I graduated from the University of Alabama system, but and I'm a huge Nick Saban fan. But really, I mean, millions and millions of dollars.
Oh, I see what you're saying now. No, I agree with you. But if that is the case and it's capitalism working, everyone's making out great except for the people that are actually performing.
I had someone in Texas one time say to me, and it was actually a school board member at one of the schools there. My belief is, and like I said, call me old-fashioned, but let's pay a little bit more to policemen and firemen and teachers. I realize nobody's ever going to pay them millions of dollars. But because you can coach a football team to an undefeated season, because you can because you can score 30 points a game, and I'm not knocking people like Tom Brady or LeBron James or anything. They're exciting to watch, but come on, we've got firemen and policemen.
I totally agree.
Barely surviving.
Sheriffs too, and they're hard.
Exactly.
No, and I agree with you. So, that's a societal thing we have to address.
So to now include. To totally dispense with the college education and say, well, let's pay the athletes.
Well, I don't think that's what it's going to do, though. I think there's still going to be rules. You still have to get grades. You still have to be eligible, but then you should be able to be compensated.
But who gets paid? And this brings me back to what someone in Texas said to me. Because if you're a successful football coach in Texas, you're going to be. Now, they actually had to pass a law in Texas that said the superintendent of a school district has to make more than the football coach. Otherwise, they had football coaches making more than superintendents. Are you going to pay? Will the standout tennis player get compensated? Will the standout golfer? I mean, yeah. Obviously, the star quarterback. Obviously, the star basketball player, or whatever. But I had a school board member say to me, "Well, you don't draw 10,000 people to see tennis."
Which is a good point, because then what you're arguing is if that money goes to the athletes, right?
Yeah.
A big portion of that in those successful programs, then it's not going to trickle down to the other sports.
No, it's not. And that's a large problem that I have. Plus, I'm not naive enough to think that, I understand that there are a lot of athletes, their sole purpose of going to college is a pathway to play professional sports.
Yep.
That's
a small percentage.
I'm not knocking making a living as a professional athlete. When I was younger, I had dreams of playing professional baseball. My knees had other ideas, but let's not forget they are student athletes, and a college education is at least $100,000 at the majority of schools. And for some, let's take Baylor, for example. Let's take, Brigham Young, private schools, Southern Methodist, those, if you have a scholarship there, you might be looking at close to a couple $100,000.
Right.
So to me, they're already getting paid.
Well, and to not totally take us off topic, because we're going to wrap up, but
right.
that takes you down a whole nother question about the disruption that's about to take place in universities. That's all going to change. This is part of it. The old model of what you're paying is not sustainable, and the internet has changed that.
Yeah,
I mean, and what the value and worth of why universities were even there. So
I imagine we'll talk more about this in the future, but we will have something on what the local athletic directors and maybe even some coaches, if they want to chime in, have to say.
That'll be interesting.
Sherry is working on a story about, and this was actually, I stumbled across this in Tyson Weishar's report to the city council. They ordered 2 scoreboards. They got lost.
Right. I know that.
The new ones came in.
And then are the lost ones
here? And then the other 2.
They did come in?
The 2 lost ones came in.
I hadn't heard that. Tyson I talked to a couple of weeks ago and was hoping that would happen.
So that happened, and so Sherry is working on a story about that. I mentioned the feature story on Katie McGinnis. I'm hoping to have a little more on the school board budget, where some of that money is going to go. And then the Dr. Hoppy's building has been sold, and Sherry is working on a story on what's going to happen with that. So those are some things that we have looking ahead. Another great copy of the Burlington Record. Take a look at this front page. Emblazon it in your brain. Remember it until next week when we have a new one, of course.
It's emblazoned.
Yeah, there you go. So,
all right. Well,
thank you for reading. Be sure and check out our website. Be sure and vote in the poll. And be thinking about whether you want Bill Cosby living next door to you.
Next week's poll, maybe. All right. Well, thanks for coming in again. Another awesome In the News segment.
Absolutely, my friend.
Little Fist. I'll see you next week.
All right.
All right.